Hey, good evening, friends. Dennis LaRue here, your executive and life coach, with your hashtag steeltoesrequired quote of the week. And it's number 68. And this week is going to be, as I said last week, this is going to be a continuation from last week's quote. It's going to be the exact same quote. Don, glad to see you out there. Hey, Mom, how you doing? So this week's quote is, hey, Jamie. This week's quote is the exact same quote as last week, so let me just say that up front. Let me read it to you. It's from Elmer Towns. Elmer Towns said this. He said, if you want to grow, then you spend time with great people, you visit great places, attend great events, read great books, and listen to great tapes. This was the advice that Elmer Towns, who is, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's still a faculty member there at Liberty University. I know he was one of my professors during the time that I went there. And he's a mentor of John Maxwell. This was advice that he gave the #1 leader in the world, John Maxwell, for mentorship. And right there in those 5 things that he shared is a no kidding, just basic personal growth plan. So whether you're a seasoned veteran in personal development or you're simply just getting started and you're not sure where to start, these 5 things are a great place for you to jumpstart your personal growth. Hey, Monique, Bob, how are you? So last week we talked about the great people and we talked about the great places. So if you're new to Steel Toes, go check out last week on Facebook. Also, my blog post, if you'll go to dennislarue.org, on my blog post, last week's Facebook video is actually embedded in the blog. So you can actually catch last week's video with the blog. And they're both not exactly the same, so they marry up together. So you want to read the blog, which will be posted right after this. And we'll also cover the last 3 in today. Pat, how are you? So where we're at today is we talked about great places, great people last week, but now we're great events. So a personal growth plan requires great events. Now, some of the names that I've mentioned here already know one of the great events that I go to every year, and they do too, sometimes twice a year. And it's the John Maxwell Team IMC event this year in March and in August. That is a phenomenal event. 3,000 people in the room. John Maxwell, our John Maxwell team staff. As a matter of fact, a couple of them are probably still live right now doing Think and Grow Rich, and they're doing it complimentary. I mean, it's a powerful study. I'm going through that as well. It's a great event. It's a life-changing event. And so for you, what are those great events? What I want to hear from you is those of you that are seasoned in personal development and growth, what are some great events that are on your calendar year in and year out that you attend? Because you know what? I'm always looking for great events to attend, and it's a great way to help everybody that watches this, some new ideas, some fresh ideas. And I'll share another event that I go to. I go to an event, and of all places, now I live in Texas, Odessa, Texas. If you've heard of Friday Night Lights, the movie, Mojo, Odessa Permian football, that's where one of my great events is. And truth be told, it's the first time I met John Maxwell in person. He was at that event. And that's what jump-started me to where I'm at today, was that first event I went to in 2006 is when I first went there. And I go there every year that I can. John is there. And there's some great people that show up at that event. I mean, Simon Sinek has been there. Hall of Fame quarterback Jim Kelly has been there. Andy Stanley, Andy Andrews. These are just some of the great names of people who have been out there at this event in Odessa, Texas. So those are the main events that I go to every year. Post yours below. What are yours? And the whole point of this is, why do we go to these great events? What's so important about them is you're around like-minded people. Like-minded people, hungry to grow, and there is just something about being live with mentors and leaders, and there is a networking feel, there is a connection feel, there is opportunities to grow. There's just something about them. There's an energy there. There's inspiration, motivation, the note-taking that I get from there, and then the application, the high that you receive from those events are sometimes just the jump start you need to get unstuck into the next level of your development and growth in the year, or propel you forward to success. So that's great events. Now the next one is the most basic. This is the most basic way to develop yourself personally and professionally. It's the number one way that I've developed myself, and you can see them right behind me. Books. Great books. Great books. What books? Hey Holly, how are you? What books are you reading? Now, many of you are seasoned. You've read books. Now, I've got John Maxwell books back here. I've got all kinds of books on personal growth and development. Also, faith, finances, exercise, sports, biographies. There's so many. There is no excuse not to grow just from reading books. But not only do you have to read them. Now, I love reading. The most important thing about reading that book is application. What nuggets of gold are you receiving from those books that you're applying to your life? Maybe you like biographies. What is it in those biographies and those people's lives that inspire you, that take you to a new level, that you can learn and apply to yourself? These are the questions that help you take yourself to the next level. History. Maybe you like history. Well, what lessons are we not learning from history that are being repeated today that you need to apply to your life? And sports, I love sports books. What do you learn from sports? You learn the principles of persistence. You learn the principles of teamwork. You learn about leadership. You learn about momentum. You learn about controlling your emotions in key moments of the game. There's all kinds of things you learn from sports. Self-discipline, just from reading about sports moments. And again, books. Now, some of you may say, gosh, you know what? I just don't read very well. I don't like reading. Well, guess what? There's audiobooks. There's books on tape, books online. There's all kinds of ways to read and grow, because the next one is books on tape. Now, when John shared this with us, books on tape, for those of you maybe millennials and younger, you know what? We're talking about cassette tapes, okay? Cassette tapes. Audio cassette tapes. Well, now we've got YouTube, we've got podcasts, you've got Facebook Live right here, social media. There are a bazillion ways online to grow and listen. You know, maybe you're driving in the car, pop in a podcast, listen to the podcast while you're driving. There's so much time that you can spend growing yourself in these avenues. There's CDs, there's DVDs, there's movies. I mean, movie clips. The problem isn't, again, information and education. It's all out there for your personal growth. It's application and execution. And in between that is your mindset and your belief system. What do you believe? Are you applying what you believe? Do you even want to grow? If you're watching this, I believe you want to grow. You want to grow. And so Elmer Towns is giving you those 5 things. So share in the comments below. What books are you reading this year? What's on your list? Or what are books that you've read that you reread? This is important. What are those books that you not only read but digest almost every year? Now, one of them is right here for me. This is my copy of the 15 Laws of Growth. And let me take you to, you know, I've read this 15 times and I have underlined things. I mean, I write in the margins, I underline in a different color every time I read it. So I'm running out of colors. And there are some things in that book I've underlined literally 11 times because it's that impactful. It's a book that I digest. I read it every single year and sometimes multiple times. So the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Think and Grow Rich is another book that I read at least every year. That's a new one for me. I just added that last year, and it's just been a great book for me. It's been impactful, and I'll share one more. I'm a man of faith, so I read the Bible every year. So those are 3 books right there that I read every single year. So jump in the comments and tell me 2 things. Tell me what books that you reread, that you're reading, what great books, and then also what great events you attend, because that'll help so many people that watch this, to add value to them, to give them new ideas to spark their growth. Because what this is all about, what I'm doing here is helping you in Steel Toes to kickstart your week, to bust down those doors, and to be motivated and inspired to press forward to your goals, your dreams, your desires. Fighting back those limiting beliefs, encouraging you, taking you to the next level. That's a great book, Jamie. Love and Respect, 15 Laws, Think and Grow Rich. Thank you, Monique. Great books. To take you and your life to the next level. And right here, Elmer Towns is giving you 5 things to help you jumpstart your personal growth plan if you don't have one. And you'd be surprised how many people don't. And also, if you're a veteran, maybe this just sparked a refresh for you in a new area, or sparked a new idea in one of these categories for you, whether it's a great place, a great person to meet, a great book, a great tape, audio, video, or a great event. So putting all of those together, now the next step for you is an action step. What are you going to do with these 5 things? Where are you going to grow? Where are you going to take that next step? Because all of these resources are out there for you. All these ideas, everything's out there for you. Now it's to put it into an action plan for you, and committing time each day to invest in yourself. Think about that for a minute. You're investing in you. You are investing in you. And if you are not going to invest in you, you're like being at a poker table. And instead of playing a winning hand, you're not willing to bet on yourself. And nobody's going to see you. Nobody's going to raise you. Nobody's going to call you. Nobody's going to ante up if you're not willing to invest in yourself. If you're not willing to put your chips in and invest and take your life to the next level, nobody else is going to either. It starts with you first. And you'll be surprised, when you start with you first, it's amazing how many people are going to notice your growth, and they're going to wonder why you're different. And those people that are growing and ahead of you, guess what? They're going to notice, and they're going to help you and draw you closer. Monique, I love that. Those 5 steps have radically changed my life. I love it, Monique. That is so awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And so with that, folks, that's our Steel Toes for this week. Those are the 5 things. So if you didn't catch last week's blog and video, it's on the website. Jamie, I saw, just posted this, I believe this week's, but they're both right there, back to back. So what I'd like for you to do is go read that blog. Read the blog. The video will be embedded in that blog right after this. And last week's video and blog are there too. And use it, help yourself grow, build yourself a list, and take yourself to the next level. And please, if this added value to you, just like, comment, share with your folks, help them to grow just as you've grown. And with that, we'll close with my favorite part, the blessing. I pray the blessing of bread that you know no hunger. I pray the blessing of salt, that your life would have flavor and that your life would also be flavorful to others. Pray the blessing of wine, that joy and prosperity would be yours, and that the love of God would be your portion this day and forevermore. Go out there, have a great week. Go kick down those doors. Go break down those belief barriers. Go break down those steps that you're taking to get to the next level in your life, in your business, whatever that is, to pursue your dreams and goals. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. This is Dennis LaRue, your Executive Life Coach, and have a great week. Bye for now.